Today's tip is to go organic, sort of. As I've said in many episodes of this podcast, the grocery store can be a very confusing place. We walk in there with the intention of making the best choices for ourselves and our families, but are often left overwhelmed by food labels, food claims, and the sheer number of choices presented on the shelves. So what do I always say? Knowledge is power. My hope for this podcast is to help you cut through the conflicting messages in the health and wellness space, give you the knowledge to make the best choices. And that's why today I wanted to talk about the conflicting messages around organic versus non-organic food. Is organic food better for you? Is non-organic food less nutritious or unhealthy? Let's talk about the differences between organic and non-organic foods, and of course, we'll bust a few myths along the way. I'll start with the definition of organic. Now, this definition holds true for Canada and the United States, but each governing body around the world may differ slightly, so keep that in mind. Organic crops are those that are produced on farms that have not used synthetic or man-made pesticides, herbicides, or fertilizer for 3 years prior to harvesting. They also must be free from genetic engineering, ionizing radiation, and wait for it, sewage sludge. Animals or livestock on organic farms must be fed organic feed, live on organic land, and be raised without routine antibiotics or hormones. When you look at the labels in the grocery store, you'll likely see 3 different organic claims: 100% organic, and made with organic ingredients. In addition, products with each of these claims can have a certified organic stamp on their packages. 100% organic means that the product is made entirely from organic ingredients. Organic means that at least 95% of the ingredients are organic, and made with organic ingredients means that at least 70% of the ingredients are organic. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are some common myths and misconceptions about organic foods that I wanted to clear up. The first myth is that if a food is organic, then no pesticides were used in its production. In actual fact, it's not whether or not a pesticide or herbicide is used that makes a food organic. It's the origin of the pesticide used that matters. To be labeled organic, no synthetic or man-made pesticides are used. Organic farms can use natural or organic pesticides in production. Organic pesticides are those that are derived from natural sources and are only lightly processed, if at all, before use. It's important to just keep in mind that just because something is natural doesn't necessarily make it healthy or non-toxic. The next myth is that if a product is not labeled certified organic, then synthetic pesticides or genetic engineering must have been used in production. The fact is that the process of obtaining a certified organic stamp can be very expensive. Often small local farms who operate organically can't afford to go through the process of obtaining and maintaining the certification. As a result, they won't be labeled as such, even though they are. Myth number 3 is that if a product is labeled natural, that it's also organic. In many countries, the label natural only means that there are no artificial flavors or colors in the ingredients. It doesn't refer to how the food has been farmed or produced. Free range also doesn't equal organic. When a product is labeled free range, it means that the animals were not kept in small enclosures while they were raised. They could still have been fed non-organic feed or have been raised using antibiotics or hormones. The last myth I wanted to talk about was the myth that organic food is always healthier than non-organic food. This myth is also referred to as the organic halo. We falsely assume that if a food is labeled organic, that it's healthier, and we assume we can consume it without much worry. In fact, many highly processed foods like chips, cookies, and ice cream can be labeled organic if they contain organic ingredients. In addition, organic foods aren't necessarily healthier in terms of nutrients. For the most part, you're still getting the same nutritional benefits in conventionally grown fruits and veggies as you are in organically grown fruits and veggies. So myths aside, there are clear benefits to purchasing and consuming organic foods. Organic farming practices are designed to enhance soil and water quality, reduce pollution, provide safe and healthy livestock habitats, enable natural livestock behavior, and promote a self-sustaining cycle of resources on a farm. Now, the one big downside is the price point. Due to the more expensive farming practices, organic food costs more and in many areas around the world can be harder to come by. As a result, it may not be realistic or practical for everyone to eat 100% organic. Now, that doesn't mean it's all or nothing. You just need to be a strategic shopper. First, buy local whenever possible. Often, if you're able to purchase produce directly from the farmer at a farmer's market, you can ask about their farming practices and decide if they fit with your needs or preferences. In addition, smaller local farms don't have to use the same types or amounts of pesticides as larger factory farms, which as a result may lead to a reduced pesticide exposure. Secondly, you can be selective about the types of organic produce you choose to buy. Avocados, cantaloupe, pineapple, broccoli, cabbage, and corn often have low levels of pesticides, so there's no real reason that you need to buy organic. In contrast, strawberries, spinach, grapes, apples, tomatoes, and celery generally have been shown to have higher levels of pesticide residues. In addition, if you want to get the most bang for your buck on organic produce, frozen veggies can be cheaper than fresh, while being similar in quality. Finally, you can take a look at the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 lists produced each year by the Environmental Working Group. The EWG ranks traces of non-organic residues found on regularly consumed produce items. They review available data each year to create the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 lists, indicating which 12 produce items carry the highest amount of pesticide residues and which 15 carry the lowest. According to the EWG, people can lower their pesticide exposure by almost 80% by avoiding the top 12 most contaminated fruits and vegetables and eating the least contaminated instead. Follow the link in the show notes to access these lists. So there you have it. You don't have to break the bank to support organic farming practices and reduce your exposure to synthetic pesticides. Armed with a little more knowledge, I hope you're able to head into your next grocery shopping experience confident in your ability to make the best and most nutritious decisions for you and your family. Willpower not required. Thanks so much for listening. I'd love to hear from you, so send me your tips, questions, or feedback. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Fired Up Fitness Coaching, or email me at willpowernotrequired@firedupfitness.ca. Thanks so much. I look forward to connecting with you.